You know, we have with us today someone who may not be able to stay for the entire session, and I want us to hear from her a little bit. Once in a while we get very, very lucky, and someone who really does not believe in war, someone who actually will vote against funding the war, which is where it's at, as we all know. Someone who will never be swayed by corporations or by pressure, inner pressure from the party. Someone who is just a consummate candidate is with us today. She got 41% of the vote the last time she ran. If everyone who voted for her then votes for her now, she will win this, the primary. Marcy Winograd.
Thank you, Lila. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jeff, and all of you for being here today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's really, really great to be with you. Particularly powerful to be with a group committed to ending war and finding alternative means of resolving our conflicts. And this race that I'm involved in right now is really all about ending war, particularly the ones we're involved with right now. And I think David and Lila would probably confirm that we're involved in at least 5 that I can think of.
At least 5.
I mean, Iraq, Afghanistan,
Pakistan,
Libya.
yeah.
And the middle class.
And the middle class, and the youth, veterans, and seniors. There
Somalia.
we go.
We have special forces in about 75 countries.
Wow. So minimally 5. The other day, I don't know how many of you had a chance to see it, but we decided that we were going to cut to the chase and challenge my opponents, and forgive me if I'm saying anything that I shouldn't be in this religious center, but challenge my opponents, the leading Democratic Party opponents, to sign a pledge by the Veterans for Peace LA, a declaration that congressional candidates, as one, they would vote against future war funding except to bring our troops home safely. This was in Venice. Ron Kovic was there. And I, of course, signed readily. Very proud to sign this declaration. Because, as we know, the Vietnam War didn't end until people stopped funding it in Congress. So you can say you're against the war, you can say we want to bring our troops home, but unless you're ready to stop funding it, it's meaningless. Okay? So I signed, the Libertarian candidate signed, the Peace and Freedom Party candidate signed, but lo and behold, Janice Hahn, Deborah Bowen refused to sign that declaration.
Shame on them.
I'll keep pushing.
That's right.
I think that's very important for us to push really hard and to be truthful in this race. And just recently I heard through Twitter that Deborah Bowen, just a few hours after I had issued my press release urging her and Janice Hahn to join me in opposing the death penalty and affirming a resolution of the California Democratic Party to abolish the death penalty, just hours after that, she issued a 20-year reversal of her support for the death penalty.
Good work. Good job.
Never give up, never surrender. As Lila mentioned, I ran before, you know that. 41% of the vote last June. Jane Harman quit. It's going to cost us $1.7 million to $2 million to replace her. Right now, there is no representation in the 36th congressional district. The race, well, they're voting right now. How many of you live in the district? Okay. Some of you may have received your absentee ballot. We expect 50% of the voters to vote before the day of the election, May 17th. However, in the interim, leading up to that day, we need a lot of help. You're free to work on any campaign, but certainly, I want you to work on mine. If you're interested in phone banking, Bill at winogradforcongress.com can set you right up, okay? The platform is pretty simple. Reduce the military budget, tax the rich, invest in our schools and in job creation and in health care. And by all means, protect Social Security and Medicare from, as Ed Asner said on my robocall last week, from the robber barons looting America. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really honored. These are my mentors. They're fabulous people. Thank you.
Can I say something about Marcy's campaign? course. You know, most districts in this country, there is no candidate. I would venture to say every other district in this country, there is not a candidate like Marcy. And so if you live in her district or you live anywhere near her district and you think there's any point left in electoral politics and you've grasped that we can't influence presidents and we can't influence presidential races very easily, and putting the right face on the throne is not going to save the empire. And if you've grasped that just about every district, and after the redistricting this year, absolutely every district, is guaranteed to one or the other of the two political parties because of the cultural differences and the nonsense differences between the two parties, you understand that the elections are all in the primaries, and the primary where you can do any good is this one that Marcy's in. And so if you think there's any point left in messing around with our elected officials, our so-called representatives, and I would venture to say that this district didn't have any representation a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago either, just as it doesn't have any now. If you want to put anybody in Congress who will do us any good, look at that video of Han saying that if you put her in Congress, she won't bother to take a position on funding wars, because if Congress defunds wars, the Pentagon will steal the money somewhere and continue them anyway. It's not Congress's business. And if you look at Deborah Bowen explaining in her Donald Rumsfeld imitation of what she doesn't know, and it's only been 10 years in Afghanistan, you can't expect her to have formed an opinion yet, and she's 99.9% there, but she won't promise anything, and that ought to be good enough for you. If you put her in Washington, don't waste a minute bitching and moaning that she won't listen to you, because she won't listen to you. So, you know, get with it now. Wake people up now. Bring the people back who have gone over to one of those lousy campaigns now. This is a very easy way we can open this session here today, answering the question that we always end these events with everywhere in the country. Well, what can we do? This is what you can do, and you're so close to it, and nobody else has the opportunity in the rest of the country. So for God's sake, do it.
Yeah.